Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Monday the 7th of August 2023. A lot going on. We're still talking about the game from the weekend, and we've got to preview the game tomorrow. There is a game tomorrow now. We're starting off with this. A lot of eyebrows raised about George Long not being in the matchday squad. A lot of rumours going around that he had refused to travel. Just rumours. But we now have a comment from Gary Rowett trying to discuss what happened there. So this is from southwarknews.co.uk. He's very keen to be a number one somewhere. Millwall boss on George Long's absence against Middlesbrough. New signing Matija Sarkic made his debut in between the sticks on Saturday. Gary Rowett said that George Long is exploring other options as he explained why the goalkeeper was absent from Saturday's win at Middlesbrough. The 29-year-old had been Mill's first-choice goalkeeper for most of last season, but was noticeably absent for the opening day trip to the Riverside. New signing from Wolverhampton Wanderers, Matija Sarkic, started in goal while Bartosz Białkowski was on the bench, and Connell Truman was behind the bench. If you saw that in the video I showed you yesterday, with where Duncan Watmore went to the wrong bench, you could see Connell Truman behind the thing. So they bring, like I said, they bring 3 goalkeepers to every game just in case you get a hole in one. Yes, I did suggest that Gary Rowett might be one of the first managers to put 2 goalkeepers on the bench. Now you can have 9 subs, but he didn't do it. Maybe one time this season he might. So Lions boss Rowett admitted Long is now considering how best to get first in football, but insisted he has remained incredibly professional. So he's remained professional, but he's said he wants to leave and he wants to go somewhere else. He told News at Den, "Oh, it's really simple. I spoke to George. He's very keen to be a number one somewhere, and if that opportunity arises and I feel that's fair for him, he's worked very hard to be in the number one position, and by bringing in Matija, he obviously pushes him down that order through no fault of his own." I'm sure many of you will disagree with that. I had a conversation with him and just said until the window shuts, we'll just make sure we're all clear on what opportunity may look like if George doesn't get that chance. I think we'll sit down and reassess that. He's been incredibly professional, he's conducted himself fantastically well, and like I said, it's a difficult situation as it's not his fault. He hasn't done anything wrong, we just had to make a decision, and it's literally nothing more than that. I know people like to speculate, but he's been brilliant around the place. He's a really popular player. And like I said, if the window shuts tomorrow, and George hasn't had the opportunity to play first in football somewhere, then we'll reassess what that order looks like. So he says, Gary Rowett says people like to speculate, so that's the rumours. And Gary Rowett is saying, no, he's been very professional. He's been fine. He's just said he wants to go somewhere else and play first in football. Which, maybe, did Bart Białkowski say that? Did Bart Białkowski refuse to be on the bench? I'm not saying I don't know if George Long did refuse to be on the bench. When George Long replaced Bart Białkowski, did Bart kick off? I don't know. But it doesn't have much confidence if you're not ready to sit and fight for your place. Obviously, he probably thinks his bridges have been burnt. He probably knows that this other guy is probably maybe better than him, and certainly if he's not actually a lot worse than George Long, he's going to get more opportunities before the calls come for him to get kicked out. And he has to have an absolute stinker for George Long to get another chance. Not only that, but we now have an absolute glut of goalkeepers, a ridiculousness of goalkeepers. We've got Sarkic, we've got George Long, we've got Bart Białkowski, we've got Connell Truman, we've got Joe Wright out on loan, we've got Ethan Waddy, we've got Dylan Adai, we've got George Evans. So there is an abundance. George Evans is a young goalkeeper. I don't expect him to be anywhere near the first team, but I just named him. We've got so many goalkeepers, and I'm pretty sure Andy Marshall could probably still do a bit as well. He might, if we got a non-league team in the FA Cup, he could certainly play against them. Yeah, so rumours swirling around that George Long refused to go to Middlesbrough to be on the bench. And Gary Rowett said, no, 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 no. He's been absolutely professional, apart from saying he wants to leave and play first team football. So they're literally saying, I don't know how that's going to work. Whose responsibility is to find the club for him? Do Millwall have to find him a place where he can play first team football? Does he need to go and find a place where he can play first team football? So he's got until the end of the month, like 3 weeks, to find a team that will play him as first team goalkeeper. And then off he goes. And if he doesn't, he's sticking around. And then what? Then he's going to stay and fight for his place because he has no other options. Yeah, that's incredibly professional, isn't it? You can understand why he's upset, but I mean, like, this is a results-based business, and we didn't get the results at the end of the last season, and partly that was down to you. So it would be obvious that they will try to replace you with someone better than you. So there you go. But yeah, Gary Rowett sticking up for him. Gary Rowett being incredibly professional there, because I'm sure this isn't what's happened behind the scenes. But Gary Rowett painting the pretty picture and trying not to upset the apple cart. But there you go, Gary Rowett, a diplomat, making excuses for George Long throwing his toys out of the pram. Moving on now to Gary Rowett, not only the peacemaker, the diplomat, but the predictor, the Mystic Meg. This is from southwarknews.co.uk. One of you is going to win the game. Mill boss predicts super sub impact in Middlesbrough win. Idomu Maka and Romain Esse gave their reaction to a brilliant opening day at the Riverside Stadium. Gary accurately predicted that Romain Esse and Idomu Maka would come on and win the game against Middlesbrough. The youngsters have revealed. Esse 18 lashed a brilliant effort to the top corner 11 minutes from time to break the deadlock after being set up by Maka. The pair came on for Zion Fleming and Duncan Watmore with 17 minutes to go. And then Maka revealed Rowett's inspired pep talk before the Lions manager made his debut substitution. The 19-year-old told Millwall TV, well, before we came on, the gaffer said one of us is going to win the game. And thankfully it was one of us, and I'm buzzing that it was Rom, and I was there to set him up. Big 3 points and a perfect start to the season. The lads were great, we had to dig in at the end, but I think we did that fine. But yeah, big 3 points. I just wanted to get on the ball and show everyone what I can do, and there's a lot more games to go. But I'm just happy I was able to play my part in that goal today. Hopefully this is the start for something big for us this season. Meanwhile, Esse revealed in his first professional goal for the club, as he cheekily revealed that he enjoyed giving it to the Middlesbrough fans. He said, "Oh, first goal, first of many. It's been great, and I'm happy. Obviously, I have to shout out big man Imaku here. He breezed past the defenders, and I knew how I had to get into the box. I found the right space, and the finish. It was great, top corner. I know there's players more experienced than me that didn't come on, but we have a big squad and a lot of good players. And I'm glad I did it today and we won. I tried to run away after the goal, but I think Hutch just pinned me down. So I ended up doing a half knee slide, but it was good to give it to the Middlesbrough fans. It was actually Danny Mack, actually. And he did what a lot of people do. He rubbed his hair. Don't rub their hair. Moving on to, speaking of Hutch, here we go. The first clean sheet of the campaign for Shaun Hutchinson. It's from millwallfc.co.uk. 1 game, 1 clean sheet for Millwall. Shaun Hutchinson was part of a solid back five for the Lions at the Riverside Stadium as Gary Rowett's side defeated Middlesbrough 1-0, Romain Esse netting the winner. Oh, we're delighted with the win, the captain told millwallfc.co.uk. It's one of the toughest places in the league to go, but we stuck to our task and we were hard to beat. We played some nice stuff at times. We got into good positions and could have had a few more goals. It's a really positive day. Fair play to Idomu and Rom at the end. The two of them had a great season, and they both took their chance. Next up for Millwall is the visit of Reading in the Carabao Cup on Tuesday night. A Sky Bet Championship test against Bristol City follows on Saturday afternoon in front of a packed den. Oh, they're all tough, but we're back in the den and the place will be rocking now, so it's one to look forward to. We want to build on this win and win that one to keep us this good start, but we'll look back at the clips on Saturday, fine tune a few things. The lads will obviously get fitter as we go along as well. Indeed. Zion Fleming looked a bit off the pace, didn't he? In my opinion. Now, talking of that Bristol City game being a sellout, here we go, unprecedented, very rare occasion. The North Stand has now been open to Millwall fans versus Bristol City. But I'm sure it's only the good boys and girls, because they don't want you too close to the away fans. So, Mill will take on Bristol City in the Sky Bet Championship on Saturday, 12th of August, kick-off 3 p.m, with the North Stand now open to Mill supporters wishing to purchase tickets. The lines will pay tribute to John Berylson and his fixture with full commemorative details following the course. Barry Kitchener's stand and Docker stand are both now sold out, whilst the Coldblow Lane stand has extremely limited availability in the lower tier. In addition, blocks 53 and 54 in the North Stand are now open to home fans, with more blocks to be open if demand exceeds beyond that. Millwall Football Club would like to thank Bristol City Football Club for cooperating in this matter and allowing as many supporters as possible to attend Saturday's fixture. I don't know what that means. Did they have to give permission, or I don't know what's going on? But we are, yeah. So here we go. The tickets are there in the North Stand. I've been in the North Stand. I don't know if you remember. I think after the Birmingham game, there was kind of like a mutual banning of away fans between, I think it was Wolves, Man City, maybe and some other teams as well. And in response to that, Millwall opened up the away section so that it wouldn't be weird for everyone. And I went in there a couple of times for that. So yeah, it's kind of weird, but there you go. Yeah, tickets are available for the game on Saturday. And here we go. The club have put this out. If you travel by train to the games because you don't want to drive because you want to drink and you don't want to pay this excessive fee that's been labelled on every car now by the incompetent Mayor of London, here we go. You can't travel by train either. On certain occasions, it's a complete shit show. Industrial action and engineering works will disrupt travel to Mill's 3 home fixtures in August. The Lions take on Reading in the first round of the Carabao Cup Tuesday the 8th of August, so that's tomorrow. And Bristol City on Saturday the 12th of August and Stoke City on Saturday the 26th of August. In the Sky Bet Championship in the first month of the campaign, with supporters advised to check their journey to all matches before setting off. Below, fans will find more details on each specific match and the issues on the railway at that time. Yeah, I believe in terms of a strike, they only have to give 2 weeks' notice. They've started doing this thing with this overtime ban, so they're not doing any overtime, which means for some weird reason the train companies were relying on them to do overtime to fulfill the their timetable journey requirements. So without that overtime, they've had to come up with a new timetable, which means fewer trains and changing destinations. You might find that a train going from, you think goes from here to here, suddenly no, they're going somewhere else now because they can't run that train at that frequency, so they go a different route to get you to on a different train that they can run, and that will go up and down. So let's just click on it. So Reading, weird one for Reading. So they do this thing where they strike over 2 days, and it starts at 6 p.m. and then it will run to 6 p.m. the next day. So it looks like that's what they're doing here, because for the game tomorrow after Reading, there's not going to be any trains at South Bermondsey after the final whistle. So obviously with these new rules, fuck knows when that will be. So check your journey. You might have to, I don't know if it's how widely it is, you might have to get buses. You might have to walk up to Bermondsey Tube Station. You might have to walk down to either Surrey Quays or Queens Road Peckham to get on the overground to go somewhere and catch a train. You just got to figure it out. Like, I'm sure we're all used to this shit by now. Here we go. So tomorrow night, yeah, weird one. So if you think, oh, the trains are running, but it will get you there, but it won't get you all home. So here we go. No trains at South Bermondsey for the big game where it's going to be a sellout crowd against Bristol City. So again, that's balls ache. We've got to figure that out. That's not helpful on the occasion that is. And now this one further afield. This is just again for the South Bermondsey station will be closed because of due to engineering work. So even if there wasn't any strike action on that day, it's just engineering work, so it's just messing up. Which is because that's on the 26th, so we wouldn't even know if there was strike action that far in ahead. So that could have changed anyway. But yeah, here you go. So here's a list of the buses that, if you don't know, that go near the ground, that you walk within walking distance. But we're used to this shit by now. I mean, it's annoying that. I think what's fueling this as well is that. So we changed to a fixed election, sort of. We don't have a fixed election like the Americans have, where it's got to be a certain day in November every 4 years. But we have do like a range where they know there's going to be an election. Now they have to call an election with a certain date. So obviously this is all this fucking bullshit. They're ramping it up for that. Like the doctors want a 35% pay rise. Like, you're clearly not going to get that. So you're literally just causing chaos for the sake of causing chaos. You're not being realistic about getting a pay rise. You could literally strike for a pay rise of 10%, 15% this year. I think they've been offered like 9. Take it, and then go on strike again in 2 years' time or next year, and then do it again, and then you'll get your 30%. But it'll be bit by bit by bit. But they're asking for 35%. The doctors are. I don't know what these train driving clowns are asking for. They're already paid well enough. They get like 70k a year. Yeah, it's bizarre. They seem to assume that if the Labour government gets in, they're going to get their money thrown at them. And I don't think they realise the Labour people have moved on from you. They're more interested in transgenders and boat people now. They don't give a fuck about working class people. So I don't know why you think they're going to start throwing money at you. But yeah, same old. Here we go. Now, moving on to this, also from millfc.co.uk. Mill to host 23-24 open training sessions. So this is something that they've been doing for the last few years. I don't know why it hasn't loaded. Let's try and refresh it. No, it's not going to come on, is it? I don't think so. Oh no, here we go. So Millwall Football Club will host an open training session at Den on Tuesday the 15th of August. It's 3 days after the Lions play their second Sky Bet Championship match of the season against Bristol City. So this is next week. Obviously, school holidays, this is a thing they do. Doors will open at 10 a.m. Training session to commence 30 minutes later, so at 10:30. Millwall season ticket holders and members can watch all the action unfold free in SC16 on production of a valid 23-24 season ticket or membership. Entry will be at gate W1 with a ticket office also open to anyone wishing to sign up and gain access. So if you want to go down there and pay for a season ticket or membership on the day, then you can do that and get in. So there you go. So there's going to be stuff around it. It's basically based around the kids. Last one, they did pictures. They did all the pictures with the kids and stuff. There will be arts and crafts available inside the concourse, whilst a kiosk will be open for anyone wishing to purchase refreshments. Zampa and Bellina will also be in attendance. I don't know if they'll be doling out the Shepherd Neem at 10:30 a.m. I'm not sure why you would want to buy that at 10:30 a.m. After the session is finished, the players and management will be on hand to sign any merchandise and post photos. If you come empty-handed, do not fear. The Lions store will be open to grab any last-minute purchases. Well, good luck with that. There's not much in there at the moment, is there? I don't think so. Moving on to this also from millfc.co.uk. So it's the Loanwatch. Millwall Trio kick off 23-24. Two of Millwall's 3 loanees tasted first team experience on the opening weekend of the 23-24 season. Chin Ockley played 90 minutes for Bromley as the Ravens were defeated 2-0 by FC Halifax Town in the Vanarama National League, whilst Fernando Boateng made his Woking debut off the substitutes bench as the Cards picked up a point in a goalless draw at Kidderminster Harriers. Joe Wright, meanwhile, was an unused substitute at Salford City with 2-0 victors at Forest Green Rovers. Matt Smith, formerly of Millwall, scored Hammy's second goal deep into stoppage time. Yeah, I'm not sure Joe Wright's going to get much game time, mate. It's the Carabao Cup tomorrow, but that's against Preston. They're a pretty big team. Will they throw him in? They've got to play Carabao Cup. They've got to play FA Cup from the first round. They've got to play Johnson Pate Trophy, so he might get thrown into Johnson Pate Trophy, which I think for them is about at least 3 games. The reason why I say he might not get much game time as well is Salford City have named their captain, and their captain is the goalkeeper. I think his name is Alex Cairns. So, yeah, I don't think you're going to name your goalkeeper your captain and then not play him. So, I think Joe Wright's there as a definite hard number 2 there. And he might get a few cup game tomorrow. It's a big game for them, so maybe not, but we'll see. We'll see. It always used to bug me when Arsenal back in the day, they would play a weakened team in the League Cup. And then that weakened team would get to the semi-finals and the finals, and then he would put all the proper first team players in. It was a bit disrespectful to the players they got you there, to be honest. Like, either you're playing your second team in the League Cup or you're not. Like, I understand why they did it, but I mean, it's a bit disrespectful to those players that got you. But hey, we will see. Now, speaking of the Carabao Cup, before that, I've got to tell you about this. So this is, I told you last week, News at Den Plus. They're trying to get you to pay for articles that are a bit more insightful, more thoughtful, kind of like what is it like the Athletic are doing. Good luck with that. But so they're talking about the old Den at the time. Goodbye old Den, hello new Den. 30 years on, but what did the fans think of the move at the time? The Lions played their first competitive game at the new stadium in this month, 1993, by John Kelly there. And there you go, it fades off. So it's already had 1.6k views, but I think that's probably just for this landing page. It's literally like, what did they say? It says in a minute, it's 30 pence an article. Or you can have 3 stories for 90p. So, and that's for a week, so £1 a week. There you go. If you're interested in that, I'm sharing it, letting you know. Just because I use their articles all the time, trying to give something back. If you're into that, there you go. Maybe try it out. If it's not for you, then don't do it again. Now moving on to the Carabao Cup. Game tomorrow, Millwall versus Reading. Reading? Lions start cup campaign against hapless Royals. It's been a difficult year to be a Reading fan, but they were looking to pull off an upset at the Den. Millwall will be looking to build on their brilliant start to the season by getting past League One Reading in the first round of the Carabao Cup tomorrow night. The Lions overcame Middlesbrough at the Riverside Stadium on Saturday to pull off an impressive away day win on the opening weekend of the Championship. But now all thoughts turn to a potential cup run in the competition where Millwall have not enjoyed the best of luck in recent years. In fact, the London side have failed to get beyond the third round of this competition every year since the 26-27 season. Last season saw George Honeyman sent off in a disappointing 1-0 defeat at Cambridge United in the first round. Yes, I went to that game. It was disappointing. Other exits in recent years have come at the hands of Premier League opponents such as Leicester City, Burnley and Fulham, with the new Lions defender Joe Bryan scoring at the Denver Dodgers during a 3-1 win in 2015. Reading were in the top flight themselves just 10 years ago, but now fighting it out in League One after off-the-pitch issues destabilised the club. The Royals went top of the Championship after winning 1-0 at the Den last August, but fell away as the season went on. They might have survived the drop if not for a 6-point penalty for breaching EFL financial rules. Paul Ince was sacked not long after the points deduction, and Reading could not save themselves. Ruben Sellers is now charged with turning things around after his brief stint running a doomed Southampton last season. Things did not get off to a good start at the weekend as the Berkshire-based club lost 1-0 at home to Peterborough. But despite their goal showing, they have threats to trouble Millwall tomorrow. Andy Carroll, he's still there, is he? Will also be a handful when balls come into the box. While the club have brought in exciting players during the window like Charlie Savage and Harvey Nibbs, who have the ability to make things happen. As for Millwall, changes can be expected Gary Rowett made 6 for the Cambridge match last year. Yeah, look how that went. Following their T-side heroics, both Adomu and Maku and Romain Esse will be pushing for starts to continue a relentless youthful momentum that is building since pre-season. I believe that will be their first starts as Millwall players if they do indeed start. Tom Bradshaw will also be vying for his first start after missing out on being in the lineup against Middlesbrough due to illness. The striker surprisingly has just 1 goal in 7 League Cup appearances for the Lions, fewer than the 2 defender Murray Wallace has this in this competition. Other squad players such as Ryan Leonard and Andres Vogelsammer will also be keen on minutes to get their seasons up and running, while Wes Harding will be hoping for a debut after signing Rotherham. The previous 4 games between Millwall and Reading have finished 1-0, 3 times in the Lions' favour. The London club can also boast of 8 wins in their previous 12 encounters. They last met in the League Cup in 2017 when Reading won 3-1, thanks in part to a goal after extra time by George Evans, who now dons Millwall colours. So there you go, pretty good preview there from southernnews.co.uk. So let's get into it. Obviously, not much importance in this. I can barely find any normal previews that we usually give you in front of before the game. This is from 11v11.com. It's just the historical record between Millwall and Reading. I've sorted it for Millwall and Reading. We've played so many games against this Reading team because I believe they were one of the teams that came in with us to the Division 3 South from the Southern League at the time. And we played so many times against them, and we have a pretty good record against them at home and not so good away from home. In the Cup, especially at home, we played them in 1933 in the FA Cup, drew 1-1. We played them in the League Cup in 1984 and won 4-3. And that is it for home cup games. Only 2 at the Den. Only 2 away. It's a different story. You can see as we go down to Reading versus Millwall games, there's a lot of red. Except recently, where the last 3 games away at Reading we've actually won. So there you go. Now, seeing as this game is at home, I think we're more likely to win it. Even if we do make changes, I hope, I've been saying this for a while, that Adamu, Maku and Romain Esse start for their first starts as Millwall players. The only reason I think why you wouldn't do that is because if you're using them in the league as sort of super subs off the bench, and then you're kind of disrupting their rhythm if you're starting them in this game. But I think they can handle it because they were kind of doing that. They were playing for the under-21s at the end of last season and then going on the bench as well. So I can't see why they couldn't do this. Other players that might start as well, like they said, Wes Harding, maybe Vogelsammer, George Evans himself. So we'll see who goes in goal. Bart Biakowski is the new goalkeeper. Does he start because he needs the game time with the defence? But if it's a different defence, what's the point? Do you leave him out completely? Do you put Biakowski and Connell Truman on the bench? What do you do? There's a lot going on. I believe there's still rules about how many changes you can play from the matchday squad, but the matchday squad is now bigger because you got 9 substitutes. That kind of really negates it. There's nothing going on there. Of course, we don't want to break the rules and get a fine for fielding a weakened team, but I'm sure it's still going to be the first team squad. I think Gary Rowett's made his decision now that the first team squad is the first team squad, and players like Alex Mitchell and Adam Maliki are back in the under-21s unless they can get a loan out at a different team. I don't think we'll see them involved tomorrow. Maybe on the bench, but I doubt it. I think it's just going to be rotating, like they said. Bradshaw coming in, maybe. What more can he's got a medical issue. Can he do 2-3 games in a week? Probably not. Might have to drop him out. So we'll see. George Saville might start. I don't know, but we'll see. I think we'll see the changes, and hopefully they'll still be strong enough to go through against Reading. And I hope it doesn't go to extra time, or will it go straight to penalties, especially with all the transport issues happening on. Otherwise, you'll have people getting home at like 1, 2 a.m. and that's just people who live in fucking South East London, not including the people who live out in the sticks. So moving on to this from WhoScored.com. Like I said, there's not a proper prediction or anything. They've just got their head-to-head because obviously they still need a page because they need to sell Bet365 ads. So there you go. So match facts. Mill have seen under 2.5 goals in their last 5 home matches against Reading in all competitions. Yes, not many goals in this game. The last 6 games at Millwall. Millwall won 4, drawn 1, lost 1. Actually, the last time out, as I said, in August, we lost to Reading. In these 6 games, low number of goals. We've scored 7, they've scored 3. They've kept 1 clean sheet, we've kept 3. And back in 2018 on Boxing Day, they had 2 players sent off. And we still only won that game 1-0. So I'm sure that was a fun game to watch. So yeah, there's the last 6 times. Obviously, they're all in the league. We've only had 2 home cup games, 1 in the FA Cup, 1 in the League Cup. 1 was a draw and 1 was a win. So we're unbeaten in the cups against Reading at home. If we scroll down, you can see here. Obviously, they lost at home to Peterborough, and we won away at Middlesbrough. But here's the thing. So obviously, playing against Middlesbrough, it's kind of good for us because they come at us. They allowed us to break, and the goal came from a break. A lot of our opportunities as well came from breaks. Problem for us was last season was teams coming into the den, sitting back, defending, and then us having to break them down. Can't break them down, and end up giving a stupid goal away. So, hopefully we don't get that. Hopefully we can break them down. Hopefully we get the 2 young talent. The talent starts, and the talent scores, and we can all go home early if it's 3-0 at 75 minutes to go. We can all go home, get the bus home, because there's no trains, and then get in nice and early and get some kit. So, no one else is making a prediction. Obviously, it's kind of hard to make a prediction without the teams, but I'm going to say we're going to win this. I'm going to say it's going to be a clean sheet for Millwall, and I'm going to say it's going to be 2-0 to Millwall. So it's Millwall 2, Reading 0. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye. Say goodbye!